Your stomach is the guest star today on today's episode. I've been noticing it all day.
Thanks. No, it's been like this since I woke up. I don't know why. I'm hungry.
Me, the nauseous queen, having whatever this fake Celsius is and then a cold brew on an empty stomach, was actually trying not to vomit earlier. I was like fantasizing about getting home and opening that sweet, sweet sound of tearing the paper off the little square of a Zofran and popping it on your tongue.
Zofran? What does Zofran do?
It's the nausea one.
Oh, the nausea
one. It just like immediately heals me.
That's like the kind of joy I feel when I crack open a fresh bottle of Pepto.
Welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dayna Kathan.
Unapologetically,
we're here to do what we want to do.
Spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
disrespectfully.
I believe it was a nurse that responded back to me about griping that it isn't over the counter. Something to do with your heart if you use too much. And I'm like, how much is too much? And I just don't need that negativity in my life. So I don't want to know about it. I've just done so many death-defying things in my life. It's like, is it going to be Zofran that takes me out? Maybe.
I mean, I would imagine it would have to be large amounts.
Yeah, I think it would be way more than I'm doing it. Last night, I ended up sleeping like shit. But the night before that, I think I was telling you, I've been getting into gummies. And last night, I ate 1.5 because the one went well for me. And for some reason, I just could not fall asleep and was Les Mis. But
I know, I raw dog sleep last night. Didn't take a baby blue, didn't take a gummy, didn't do anything. And sure enough, woke up at 2:30 in the morning just with so many thoughts.
Well, and
many things.
I was so scared to look in the mirror this morning. It's like when you're on mushrooms and you look in the mirror and it's just not good.
No.
I just knew like my bags where I could put Laszlo in one and then my red eyes are just the reddest and like lumifying it up. Like my life depends on it. But it's here. We made it. It's Friday.
I have a quick thought that I was sharing. I was talking to Nick about this yesterday and I was like, you know what? I was talking about strippers, male strippers.
Ugh.
I know. And I was like, I'm allergic.
Is there anything worse?
There's nothing worse. Unless it's Channing Tatum in Magic Mike, or there's a little production behind it, like a Thunder from Down Under. I could possibly do. But showing up to your girlfriend's bachelorette party and some dude knocks on the door dressed like a sexy nurse, I don't like. It freaks me out. I feel like that's for the girls.
Yeah.
Like stripping and that kind of dancing is really for the girls. I don't care. Cancel me for this. But like, there's just something I don't want to watch a man body roll. Or gyrate or
Thunder
shake their
from
ass.
Down Under. What is that, like the Rainforest Cafe? I would assume that's similar.
It's the Australian version of like Chippendales.
Yeah, I would maybe go to that. But I will say, this is a hot take. I don't know why. I don't think Channing Tatum is attractive. Like, he has the parts that should make sense. Like, I can acknowledge that he's a traditionally good-looking person, but I am not attracted to him. And I've never seen Magic Mike, and I never will. And
you've never seen Magic? Okay, if you saw it, you might get it.
No, I'm just so sick about it. I'm like, strippers should be women. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. But I do have, there's some caveats to it, you know, production value or just be that actually really good dancer.
That's my face if a man comes at you, like you said, at a bachelor party or something.
Here's the thing. Men don't wear like the male slutty version of a female slutty version. That's weird. It's for the girls. Wear gray sweatpants.
Yeah, that's where we're heading in the right.
If you want girls to be wet, wear your gray sweatpants.
I literally can't stop me because I'm like them rolling on me. I'm like, I want to be smothered in breasts or get out of my face. I'm just like
correct, but I'm just saying. I feel like gray sweatpants on a man is like sort of the universally like appreciated item of clothing from women. I feel like the comparison or the what do you call it for women like. Edit this out. I'm struggling.
Oh my God, wait, what is, I feel like
the comparison, the equal for like what women wear would be like a sundress, a flowy like sundress.
Have you seen my flip flop? It's like this, but opposite, not an evil twin. Do you know what that's from?
No.
I'm forgetting Sarah Marshall. I get what you're trying to say though.
Yeah, I feel like the
equivalent.
Jesus. The equivalent to the gray sweatpants is the sundress.
Do you like a sundress?
No, I'm saying guys. Like, keep up.
Meanwhile, you couldn't think of what equivalent is. Maybe we're both just not firing at all cylinders. Stop shouting.
Women go crazy for guys in gray sweatpants.
Yeah.
Men go crazy for women. I'm just.
No, I'm getting what you're saying now. That's why I don't wear sundresses. I can't stand to see a man happy. I like truly just fucking can't.
Well, I don't own any.
Yeah, I just and if you do good, like they could look beautiful on all kinds of people. But I
can appreciate them on women too because sometimes you just see like a little curve, a little hug, a little this, a little that.
Oh, I love
ladies wear it.
On other women. I love those like kind of corset-y, but they have the like milkmaid top.
Yeah,
when someone has nice tits, those are nice to look at. But yeah, we have right here. And they're very feminine and beautiful. But I just hate men. Just kidding, I don't.
When I see, who is it, John Hamm's photo of his gray sweatpants.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So yeah, sometimes they do it for, I mean, go for a little sprint.
Also, Youngblood posted
I saw
a
that.
very suggestive photo. Like that, it wasn't even buried in a carousel. It was just like cover photo of a carousel, just like spread leg with the.
Well, we've already
bulge.
seen his accidentally. So
We did.
once your is out there, remember that photo with him and Billie Eilish and he wasn't wearing underwear and he flashed the camera? This was like the Paper magazine thing.
Oh yeah. So someone showed
And his
it to
penis was just like, hello, pop it.
Hello.
Came out to say hello.
Good day, mate.
So yeah, let him cook. But
Let him
yeah, I thought
cook.
that was hot.
Yeah. Anyway, my mind is in the gutter. Should we do the episode?
Yeah, I'd say so. We always come to this place. We're like, oh, there are people here. Yeah, so we're gonna do a little Heauxmetown Heroes WWDD, but I wanted to start with a Coven core because someone sent in kind of a happy full circle thing, and I want to share it.
Okay.
Chelsea says, "Hey, ladies. I wanted to let you know that you make such a good difference in lives like mine. For example, this past 3 weeks, I had liver surgery that went to shit. I got an infection and my small part of my liver died and I came close to. So surviving that and keeping updated in the pod is a real light in the tunnel for me. And your advice, by the way, is helpful as I've taken it seriously. As for example, when you said, I'm not my friends, I'm my own person, so I shouldn't be like all of them. Anywho, as I patiently wait to get these tubes out in the hospital, I still have the pod to look forward to. Friends waiting for me to get home as I face some real serious life challenges, and the 40 pounds I've lost still look forward to the pod. Thank ya." So I wanted Chelsea to know that we're thinking about her, obviously, and wishing her health and wellness. And we always obviously are so moved when we hear people that we actually impact. So
yeah, lots of positive vibes to you and quick healing.
Quick,
quick, seamless, smooth.
the
healing.
swiftest, get home,
Yeah,
be your bad self.
exactly.
Anyway, we're thinking of you.
Yes. Thank you.
Let's see here. I fear, yep, my first story is a poop story that is crazy. So
Quick turn.
Quick turn. Sorry, Chelsea. With all due respect. Joe says, my wife is a hometown hero. We love getting our male listeners, the three of you that are out there writing in. Hey, Katie and Dana. My name is Joe, and my wife and I love Vanderpump Rules and the pod. Katie, my wife Alexis has a major crush on you. Dana, we wish we could have seen you on more seasons. So here's our story. We live in Michigan, the thumb, near the US-Canada border. It was my birthday and we decided to get a hotel and bar hop in London, Ontario. Despite drinking quite a bit, I woke up the next morning feeling fine. We left the hotel and picked up McDonald's for breakfast before heading home. We got back on the road and shortly after I was hit with a sudden intestinal requirement. It was definitely the side effects of all the drinking, but the feeling went away a few minutes later. I figured I could more than likely make the hour-and-a-half drive back without stopping. Of course, the feeling kept coming back periodically. I decided I would stop at the next opportunity. Eventually, we saw a sign for a rest stop along the highway. We pull in and realize it's just a large parking lot for trucks and 2 outhouses. Ooh, my nightmare.
No.
It was December and it was cold, windy, and raining. I didn't have to go that bad, so we kept driving. The whole way back, there were no towns and only a few exits with no restaurants or gas stations within view from the highway. We're approaching the city of Sarnia. We're going to say Sarnia? Yeah. Sarnia, where we will go over a large bridge to get back to Michigan. We also have to go through customs on the U.S. side of the bridge. We pass a digital sign on the highway that says there's a minimum passenger vehicle traffic at customs. I think, okay, great. We will just breeze through customs and I'll stop at the rest stop on the U.S. side. We pull up to the toll booth at the bridge and see bathrooms just before the tolls. I should have stopped there. What difference would it make what country I shit in? So for some reason, I had my mindset and I was going to stop at the rest stop on the Michigan side. So we keep driving and made our way onto the bridge. Once you get past the tolls, you must go through U.S. Customs. It's not even possible to turn around as we are on the westbound span of the bridge. The bridge is pretty big enough that freights can pass under it. It's still cold, raining, and even windier now that we were up in the air. We made it about halfway over the bridge. The lane for the truck traffic starts backing up. I get a little nervous, but so far our passenger vehicle lane is moving. We make it over the highest point of the bridge and start descending down, and there it is. Our lane starts back up. There are probably 100 cars ahead of us. Traffic is crawling. It looks like there are only 3 custom booths open. I immediately regret not stopping earlier. Simultaneously, my stomach starts acting up, and only this time it's worse and a more urgent feeling. I don't think I'm going to make it. Panic sets in. I don't know if it's the nervousness or me trying to hold it in. It's probably both. I start shaking. I tell my wife I don't think I can wait. She tries to distract me by talking about what we have to do in the upcoming week. Bless her heart, I think she somehow made it worse. I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening. I say out loud. I would kill for a cold, damp outhouse right now. I start getting hot. I take my jacket off. Traffic is barely moving. Now I'm sweating. We start arguing about what I'm supposed to do. I remember at one point I got really loud and yelled, "What am I supposed to do?" I was spiraling fast. I decided that going to get out and squat between our Jeep and the vehicle in front of us. But is that a good idea? We're in an international border crossing. I'm sure there are cameras along the bridge. What if the driver in front of us sees? What will they do? Babe, you can't shit on the bridge. You just can't. Go in this bag. My wife hands me the paper McDonald's bag. That's not going to be enough, I told her. Based on how my stomach felt, I had no confidence in the already grease-soaked bag's ability to stay together and not let the contact soak through. Use a cup then, she says, referring to my large McDonald's cup of soda. Is she crazy? That cup is too narrow. What if I position wrong? I can't risk missing the opening.
Oh my God.
I have to decide now. I can't wait any longer. She's right. I can't risk going outside and causing issues with customs or other drivers. We are also 150 feet up in the air. The wind is gusting. It's raining. Not ideal. The bags combined are my best option. I climb into the back of our 2-door Jeep. Luckily, we had taken the back seats out, so I have plenty of room. I wonder if the drivers around can see through my lightly tinted windows. I don't even know how I'm going to do this. I have nothing to sit on. I say as I crawl in the back seat. My wife climbs over and gets into the driver's seat. Traffic keeps creeping ahead. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm sorry, babe. I shamefully say to my wife. I take the McDonald's bag, put it inside the plastic bag, make sure they are as open as possible, undo my pants, kneel down in sort of a praying position, except I'm holding the fucking McDonald's bag under my ass.
Sounds horrific.
I'll spare you any other details. It goes surprisingly well, and both bags seem to hold up. We pull up to the customs booth. So what's going on? The officer asked. I think in that moment, we both thought we were busted. My wife plays it cool and says, oh, just coming back from staying the night in London. Thankfully, he didn't ask anything else or look in the back. We get our passports back and pull away. We speed up to get back on the highway. Windows still down. The wind does nothing but whip up the smell even worse. Thankfully, the rest stop I had my heart set on was only a mile away, and we pulled in so I could drop off the bag. This probably permanently ruins my eligibility for daddy list, but I think it's safe to say my wife is a real hometown hero. After dealing with all that, she's still having sex with me. Thanks for the read, Joe.
That is good news.
That is, I just feel his pain on such a visceral level that like this could be me. When I was reading his story, I was just so sad for him and his wife, and I'm glad that she was brave about it. So Joe, shout out to your wife.
Yeah, shout out to Alexis.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they said for better or for worse. I'm guessing they did, so it's probably the worst.
That is the worst.
What else is worse than that?
I don't know.
Shopping and planning for groceries really can be simple and stress-free. Imagine having your weekly card filled for you with personalized picks, then shipped right to your door. Taking all the work off my plate is why I love Hungry Root, and I love a double entendre. So
yeah, Hungry Root takes the stress out of grocery shopping by filling your cart with personalized selections that get smarter with every order. From smoothies and kid snacks to sweets, salad kits, supplements, and more, there's something for every taste and nutrition goal.
Whether you're gluten-free, dairy-free, high protein, focused on your gut health, or whatever else, Hungry Root helps you eat well. After a quick quiz, their smart cart technology recommends groceries and supplements tailored to your needs, like having a personal shopper that learns what works for you.
Hungry Root helps you save by reducing food waste and avoiding impulse grocery buys. Their best price program offers great value on over 100 popular products. And with our offer, you'll get a free item like a premium protein, veggie, or sweet treat in every box for life.
Hungry Root holds all its food to high standards, screening out over 200 additives like high fructose corn syrup, preservatives, and artificial sweeteners. They source top quality meat and seafood with no hormones or antibiotics, offer organic and non-GMO options, and stock trusted brands like Oatly, Vital Farms, Harmless Harvest, and so much more.
I recently ordered the lemon pepper chicken and cilantro lime rice, and it was delicious.
Yum yum in my tum-tum. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/disrespectfully and use code disrespectfully.
That's hungryroot.com/disrespectfully, code disrespectfully to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/disrespectfully, code disrespectfully. You know what doesn't belong in your epic summer plans? Getting burned by your old wireless bill. While you're planning beach trips, BBQs, and 3-day weekends, your wireless bill should be the last thing holding you back. And that's why I made the switch to Mint Mobile.
With Mint, you can get the coverage and speed you're used to, but for way less money. And for limited time, Mint Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited premium wireless service for only $15 a month. So while your friends are sweating over data overages and surprise charges, you'll be chilling, literally and financially.
Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you.
All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts.
Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month.
This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/disrespectfully. That's mintmobile.com/disrespectfully.
Upfront payments of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Katie says, I love the podcast. Your unfiltered takes are my personal serotonin boost. So naturally, when something deeply disrespectful happened to me, courtesy of a ghost and heart-shaped jacuzzi, I thought of you. Words
Makes
I love
sense.
to hear. Let me set the scene. My boyfriend and I were heading to a birthday bash in a sleepy seasonal town in the dead of winter. You know the type. Charming, quiet, maybe a little too Shining adjacent. We check in to a local hotel that's clearly used for busier seasons. Our suite, it had a bathroom and a kitchenette and a king-size bed and, drumroll, a heart-shaped jacuzzi.
Hot.
Obviously, like any couple in the early honeymoon phase, we did what needed to be done. Sexy time ensued. After our cardio, I was in the bathroom cleaning up when I heard Zac Brown band blaring from what was the room across the hall. A little weird for a Thursday night in a ghost town, Ontario, but hey, we love Zac Brown, so we let it slide. We left for the party a bit later, made sure all the lights were off, doors closed, normal people things. Come back a few hours later and bam, every single drawer, cupboard, even the mini fridge was wide open in the room like it just finished an episode of Cribs, but spooky. I got to close the dresser drawers and not to be dramatic, but it felt like something was pushing back and then slam, all the drawers shut itself with attitude. I'm still blaming the tequila at this point. Anyway, round 2 was on the table, but we make our way towards the bed. Jacuzzi lights start flickering like it's trying to host a rave without our consent. My boyfriend, bless him, an electrician, tries to fix it. He's like, hold on, babe, let me get this. And catches,
You're an electrician, not a Ghostbuster. What do you? That's not gonna help.
Tries to fix it and catches a black figure staring at him in the mirror. Suddenly, he's not so chill anymore. What the fuck is happening in this hotel? So I call down to the front desk, like, hey, bestie, pretty sure our room is possessed. He offers us another room in a newer part of the hotel with fewer issues. That's so comforting. I unlock the deadbolt and wait. While we're talking about how totally unexplainable all this must be, I walk back to the door and surprise, deadbolt's locked again. Ghosts love a dramatic pause. Anyway, the staff guy shows up and goes, yeah, we've had some ghostly things over the years happen. More than you'd think. Totally casual. I mentioned the Zac Brown concert from earlier and he looks me dead in the eyes and says, that's not possible. You guys are the only guests here. First of all, only guest?
Okay.
It's creepy.
Problem number 1, it's giving The Shining. Problem number 2, no offense, I know you guys like Zac Brown. What kind of ghost is this? I'm confused.
I think I peed a little. We follow him to the elevator and I joke, imagine if we get to the next room and all the lights are out. Ding, doors open, pitch black, not even an exit sign. Oh my God. I almost left my soul in that elevator. He goes to the basement. Why are you going to the basement? He goes to the basement to turn the lights on. Meanwhile, we watch the elevator go up to the 3rd floor. Makes sense, right? Except a few minutes later, he walks up from the basement stairs beside us like, sorry, I had to flip the breaker. So who the fuck just went up in the elevator? We finally get to our room and I do a full CSI sweep. Drawers closed, doors open, no funny business. We try to relax. Pajamas on, teeth brush, and we make him stay in the bathroom with me. Oh, and I make him stay in the bathroom with me because I'm not okay. Mid-brush, he goes, did you hear that? I didn't. I had an electric toothbrush screaming in my ear, but I finished
I just got chills.
I know. But I finish up, towel off, and say out loud, if one more thing happens, we're out of here. I lean back, glance down the hallway, and the bathroom door that I know was open is now shut. Heavy oak dresser drawers? Yep. wide open again, and those boys don't glide. That was the noise he heard, and I was done. We pack up to leave, and as I open the door, we hear a loud banging on the patio door. Not like windows or creaks, like someone swinging a metal bar. Loud enough to feel in your chest. It follows us into the elevator. Bang, bang, bang. Like it wanted a ride. What the fuck? We fly the track, only then do we realize there are no other tire tracks in the snow, not a single other car in the lot. As we pull out, I look back at our original room. Lights flick on. Nope. So yeah, if that's not peak ghost hospitality energy, I don't know what else. Hope this story gives you the goosebumps it gave me while writing it. Stay disrespectful, but maybe not poltergeist level. Katie.
Katie, you did it. I got full goosebumps.
Was fucking freaky. So was the maintenance guy even real, or was he ghost too?
Probably. I think that you actually, your threshold for that was higher than most. There were so many things that I think that people would be like, when I heard that no one else was there and that was happening, I'd be like, I'm done for the night.
It's giving like they went back to like, oh yeah, this hotel. They're like, that hotel hasn't been operational for like 60 years. That's the energy it's giving.
Also, there's something so menacing about things opening but quietly, especially when it's something that's large and like should be louder. Because I've obviously in my childhood had come out with like I heard like pots and pans and then everything was open.
Mm-hmm.
But also if everything closed at once, it's like that scene in The Sixth Sense where she like everything's open and she like turns around and it's all quietly closed. Like there's something so scary about that.
Yeah, very sinister.
Well, and this one maybe seems like a little, prankster. That's a little flirty. I don't know that it was the devil, but I wouldn't want to stay and find out.
The banging, it was, I don't know. It was giving that like, either I want to party with you or I want you to leave.
Yeah. Do you want to stay and find out?
No.
We don't know. Okay. Shanice says, hello, Coven. My name is Shanice, and I swear Vanderpump Rules changed my life. I was a late watcher, but you guys are my Matthew Perry to Dana's sleeping aid. I want to write in about my mimic. He's been following me for about 15 years. I acknowledge him now, but do not accept any of his damage he thinks he brings.
Okay.
When I was 15, I was showering in my then haunted house. We knew someone passed away next door, and there was always an awful smell, but I was 15 with a single mom, so who am I to say, let's move? I was showering and getting ready to hang out with a friend when, as clear as day, I heard, Shanice. I got out of the shower and no one was there. It sounded like my mom who was at work, which is literally what happened to me. I was in the shower when it happened.
Yeah.
Later context, we move out of the house because I told my mom there was something in the house, bless her. About 10 years later, and I fully know something is out there in the same situation. Clear as day, I hear, Shanice. This time I'm at my boyfriend's and I know he's not home. It's always a clear Shanice. I'm not always terrified, but I know it's not good. I've looked into mimics in the past and I know all about them. I'm very open to the spirit world as we moved out of our childhood home when I was younger. Just wanted to share as I feel finally comfortable and safe sharing this with like-minded babes. Love you, bye. P.S. Have lots of scary haunted stories and photos to share. Shanice.
Send them our way, Shanice.
Send them on in. Yeah, mimics are tricky. I'm kind of surprised that she said that she acknowledges it because that's like, I'm pretty sure.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. But again, that's my mom's been dead for over a decade and she calls my name and I'm like, yes. Like I don't know if it's just like her gut reaction. I feel like mimics don't acknowledge, ghosts do acknowledge, demons say fuck off. I did see something last night that was a little freaky, but I don't want to give it energy. But didn't like it.
Also, like, what does she mean? I don't accept any of his damage he thinks he brings.
Well, I feel like I see on TikTok a lot when there's something scary, you go to the comments and everyone's like, I rebuke. I don't claim this energy and whatever. And so I think it's probably a protection thing. So that's good.
Okay,
She's doing that. She's doing that right. I would recommend a little protection spell though. Pretty easy to do. Look it up.
Yeah.
Just keep your space safe.
Light some white candles. Okay, anyways. Kristen says, hello, ladies. First, you guys have me cackling so hard, alone as I walk my dogs, that I'm certain my neighbors think I'm some crazy lady. Once they hear this, they will know for sure. Way back in the early 90s, I had a crazy dream. It seemed so real, I became aware while in my bed of 3 what is now known as Gray's aliens. I thought they were called tall grays. Anyway, standing over me, I started to freak out in my mind, and then I heard, don't be scared, we're your friends. I thought, oh, okay. And
get in the truck, little girl. I have free candy.
And then I went back to sleep. I've always been suggestible, but come on. This was before I knew anything about alien abductions, and I only knew of E.T. the movie. I later ran across a book that described the same scenario. I then became obsessed with the radio show Coast to Coast with Art Bell in search of more information. Years later, I was at a chiropractor and he said, oh, you've had a knee injury. Nope, I had not. In my information gathering, I learned abductees had reported implants in their knee. What the hell? Suspicious, right? Yeah. Around 2012, I was driving along a highway and my dog had his head out of the sunroof.
Has anyone else seen Hereditary? I just see so many animals and
don't
people
stick your
hanging
head
their
out of a moving vehicle.
Please.
In the distance ahead, I see what looked like a candle flame. I thought it was a plane on fire. It followed the highway coming towards me, but on the opposite side. As it got closer, it almost passed directly over us. My dog even looked at it. From underneath, it was literally a ring of what looked like sparkler fire with blackness in the middle. I slowed down. The cars around me didn't seem to see it as they angrily went around me. As it passed me, I looked back at it and it was a literal gray cloud floating away, cloaked from behind. I reported this to Peter Davenport's National UFO Reporting Center with the link.
Okay, that's nuforc.org. I've never heard of that, but I will be taking a look later.
Yes, sir. I was invited onto the Jeff Rense show along with a military pilot who saw the same craft clear across the country on the same day. My friends and family think I'm crazy. I have since heard the saying, if you saw it, you were on it.
Interesting.
I don't know about this, eh? If you saw it, you were on it. I did feel as if I failed some tests. Since the second the UFO revealed itself to me, I went screaming it from the rooftops. LOL. So I've been watching ever since and they haven't been back. Thank goodness. Anyway, long live the Coven. Cheers, Kristen. Can we go back to the whole like knee implant thing? Like did you ever get an x-ray done?
I don't know, but that was one of the better alien stories I've heard. That's so freaky. I fully believe it. I just don't know how people don't believe in that. With our universe that is so vast,
when
and
they've confirmed, they've confirmed it.
Yeah, it's just not that far fetched to me. So I don't know. I believe that, and I wonder maybe we'll meet them someday. Hopefully not in this life. Maybe when I'm, I don't want to do it right now. Please leave me alone. But I wonder why they choose the people they choose. Like, what are they looking
That's a good
for?
question. That's a good question.
Maybe Kristen's just really hot, and they wanted to check her out.
I don't know.
I bet that's what it is. Okay, we'll love that. Again, alien stories keep sending in. Right now, we are pretty much stuck on ghost, alien, poop, or vomit, which is what's coming up next. I'm sorry. I hope you guys are still listening. We love you. Cindy says, trigger warning vomit, which thank you for the trigger warning. Hi, Katie and Dana. Huge fan of the pod and Vanderpump Rules. We are a team Katie and Dana household. I have so many stories I'd love to send. I'm going to try and keep this short because it's a lot. This story happened today. Oh, I remember this. And my husband said I needed to send it in to Heauxmetown Heroes. So I work curbside at a big corporate store. For some unknown reason, my manager hates me. He has singled me out constantly in front of my coworkers, threatened to fire me multiple times, even though I'm in the top 5 for fulfilling curbside orders, and constantly denies me time off no matter how far ahead I request the dates I need. I'm sure you have. Have you ever had a boss that just hates you for no reason?
Yeah, of course.
I've had so many in my life that it's just, there's nothing you can do about it. So it's either like quit or, you can try and report them, but that's so frustrating. I'm mad for you that that's your situation. Anyway, moving on to today. I went to work with a killer headache and severe nausea. No, I was not hungover. I just have tummy issues. I asked him 3 hours into my shift if I could go home because I wasn't feeling well, and he said I would be fired because of double points. This specific corporate company goes by a point system. If you get 5 points, you'll automatically get fired, and it's double points on holidays. I'm already at 3.5. So if I can't go home or I'll get fired. Well, 15 minutes later, he asked my coworker if they want to go home because there are no orders to fill and we have nothing to do at the moment. I'm pissed. He proceeds to ask 4 more people if they want to leave early. Still not me. Finally, he asked a 5th person if they want to go home. At this point, my nausea has gotten worse. My head is pounding. I'm done with this asshole and I'm thinking, fuck it. So what do? I tighten up my throat so my tonsils are pushing up against my uvula?
Yeah.
Uvula? And I blow chunks right there in front of him and a handful of coworkers and customers. My coworker he was about to send home says, I think she needs to go home instead. Anyways, I'm writing this from my bed, all snuggled up and ready for a nap. Hope you enjoyed this slightly petty work story. I will definitely send in some more crazy work stories later. Okay, love you, bye.
Just like the vomiting projectile on cue is crazy to me.
Well, I just
also quit your job.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You do need to get a new job.
I hate those like ultra corporate kind of like jobs where it's like they go on these like point systems and everything. Like there's no room for like nuance or anything.
I will say corporate jobs like that absolutely have HR. So you should, I would try first running this up the flagpole and maybe looking for another job. I'm sorry he's doing that to you. But I would say vomiting in front of a bunch of people is the definition of standing on business. So I was proud of you. I would do that too.
Facts. Yeah. No, I mean, if you can, do it.
Do it.
Duh.
What a dick.
He sounds like such an asshole.
Duh.
Kathleen says, police, older guys, beer, and lying hometown hero. Katie and Dana, Kathleen from Nashville. Shout out to Nashville. I love your podcasts. I look forward to every Wednesday and Friday when I drive to work. This story doesn't involve sex or poop. Damn it. But it does involve police, older guys, beer, and lying. Hope you enjoy. Back in the days of my youth, when the best way to kill time was just driving around with your best friend, my friend Amanda and I did this a lot. It often led to some kind of trouble, but the story I'm about to tell you, this one takes the cake. Amanda and I had just left one of our friends' amateur wrestling matches. Okay, story for another day. We were aimlessly wandering the back roads of Rhode Island, windows down, music up, when I got a text from this older guy I used to make out with sometimes. He was 21, I was 17. Yeah, sketchy, I know. He wanted to meet up and he was with a friend. I feel like we all have the same stories. Anyways, we agreed to meet at this random park tucked away, definitely off the grid. We all got there. The guys decided they'd come sit in my car to hang out. The friend parked his car behind a dirt mound so it couldn't be seen from the road. They climbed into the back seat with a 6-pack of beer. They offered us each a can, which we thankfully declined. Thank God we did. Not even 15 minutes later, a cop rolled into the parking lot on patrol. My heart instantly dropped and I was like, fuck. The friend quickly said, don't mention my car. And being dumb teenage girls, we agreed. They stashed the beer as best they could. The cops got out and approached my window. I rolled it down. Hey, what are you guys doing here? Just hanging out, I said, trying to sound casual. Okay, can I see everyone's ID? Amanda and I pulled ours out. The guys in the back hesitated but handed theirs over too. The cop walked back to their cruiser. A minute later, one of them came back, walked right up to the door where the guy I was talking to was sitting. Do you know you have a warrant for your arrest? He looked genuinely surprised. No. And just like that, they pulled him out of my car, cuffed him, and put him in the back of theirs. Another cruiser pulled in, and one of the cops spotted one of the beer cans in the back seat. Terrified of what my parents would do, I blurted out, probably more screamed, I thought it was soda. Actual tears filling my eyes. Then, in a full panic mood, I completely ratted them out about the hidden car. Turns out the car belonged to the friend's uncle, who also has a warrant out for the uncle's arrest. They pulled the friend out of the car now. Total shit show. The cops made us call our parents. I, in my panic, purposely called my dad's number in wrong, so it kept going to a disconnected line. Amanda called her dad, who was one of those super chill parents. He told the cops Amanda was allergic to alcohol, so clearly we weren't drinking. By some miracle, they actually let us go. I dropped Amanda off at her house and flew home. Something told me this wasn't over. I grabbed our house phone and ran to my room, hiding under my covers. 15 minutes later, the phone rang. I picked it up in my best mom voice. Hello? Hi, is this Kathleen's mother? This is she. Did Kathleen tell you about what happened today? Oh, yes, she did. She's very upset about her friend being arrested. Is there anything else I should know? They mentioned the beer. I said, thank you. I'll be having a talk with her, and hung up as fast as my fingers could move. I sat frozen in my room, heart pounding, wondering, did I actually just get away with that? 2 days later, I found a beer they missed still under my seat. I chucked it into the trash can so fast. Anyways, I love you so much. Hope you got a smile on your face the next time you have a beer, and remember, I thought it was soda. XO Kathleen. P.S. I'm a pretty awesome hairstylist. Come get a blowout next time you are in Nashville. Okay.
Love.
The quickness to get to the phone and give your mom voice is just brilliant.
Also, I think that it's a universal experience for most adolescent young girls of putting themselves in horribly dangerous situations. And I love that at the time you're so fearful of the cops, but that was definitely not the biggest danger to you.
Yeah, maybe the criminals you were with.
Yeah, and the 21-year-old, not to talk about Julia Fox every day, but one of the excerpts in the beginning of her book is about how she was 11 years old and she described herself as developing early and whatnot, but I think she went through puberty early, but still you're 11. She meets at a party a 26-year-old man. They're like, the party's winding down. They're talking to each other. She tells him she's 11 and he was like, oh, I thought you were 16. Fuck. And then he was like, fuck it. I wanted to kiss you all night. I think it's her first makeout kiss. Again, thinking she was 16 was not much better. You're a 26-year-old man. He goes to the bathroom and she runs to her friend's room and like hides in a bunk. He fully comes in the doorway, like looking for her. Fully obviously wanted to hook up. I'm just like, there are so many animals out there. And I think that so many of us are lucky that nothing worse happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we're glad that that didn't turn out badly for you and you got away with it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I mean, yeah, because I remember hanging out with boys that like had graduated a few years ahead of me. So they're now like 20 or 21. I'm 17.
Yeah. I mean, I would say even when I was 16, like.
But I didn't think of them as being like adults or anything like that. They were still the same. people.
Well, it was like those people who felt familiar because you knew them in school, but then they're older creepy friends. Like I just can't even, the amount of times I was not where I said I was going to be and had a crinkled water bottle of Kirkland Sig filled with Monarch vodka in a fucking field somewhere with grown men. Like, ugh.
Just piling into the back of a car with a subwoofer that's just like shaking the shit out of your body. Yeah. You just feel it like deep in your body cavity.
Oh, God. Anyway, but we're here. So
on that, we should probably give some really good advice.
We should give advice because we're weather women. Let's do a little WWDD.
Sure.
Anonymous says, husband's grandmother's things are taking over my house. Hi, Katie and Dana, day one listener and Vanderpump Rules fan. I want to quickly express how much I love the pod and how often it comes up in my everyday combos. My friends often send me anything hot dog or cigarette related on Instagram.
I know how you feel.
I feel like I fit right in with y'all. I have a problem I need help navigating. My husband's grandmother died a couple years ago, and it's been very hard for him as they were really close. She was very sweet, supportive, and I have nothing but good things to say about her. The problem is, my father-in-law recently brought a lot of my husband's grandmother's furniture and belongings to us halfway across the country. We have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and I feel like I don't have space for myself anymore. One extra bedroom is my husband's computer room. The other is filled with his grandmother's belongings, and our shared spaces, common spaces, are cluttered with his things. His mom sends us random knickknacks constantly. We both grew up in a somewhat hoarding household, so we promised each other early in our relationship that we wouldn't become that. But over the years, it seems my personal space and personal decorative style has slowly been taken from me. I work my ass off to live in a nice house that I feel comfortable in, and it doesn't seem fair. I've always been somewhat of a minimalist nomad, so having a house filled with stuff is stressful for me and makes me feel stuck. My father died 9 years ago, and I totally understand holding on to deceased loved ones' belongings to feel closer to them. I also understand a lot of these things are antiques and have been in the family for generations, so it's a difficult situation. I used to paint and create art before we moved in together, but I feel like I don't have space to be creative or have my hobbies, and it's heartbreaking. How do I gently navigate this conversation that I feel like I'm drowning in my husband's deceased grandmother's belongings? WWDD. K, love you, bye, Anonymous. I'm so sad for you. Like that whole thing, it is a difficult situation and just really crushed me, particularly that it feels like some of your light has gone out in that you don't do these creative hobbies that you used to have. I think that in most relationships, compromise is a thing, and I'm speaking as someone who has also lost someone close to me very young. I think that you have to kind of split the difference because sometimes I feel like we hold on to things that we just do not need anymore. And some of it, it's antiques and it's been passed down for generations. But at what point are you just holding on to things because you're not ready to move on, that it's not really the person anymore? So I feel like the conversation can come from a place of not being judgmental. What you just said was really nice. You're like, I loved her. I understand you guys were so close. I want you to have things that help you hold on to her. But I do feel like we need to split the difference. This is personally how I'm emotionally feeling. His grandmother is gone, but you are here and you are in your shared space. And especially if you have trauma around hoarding, I like we talked about, I'm minimalist because it makes me feel stressed out. So I get what you're saying. So I think that you just need to be open with him and be like, is there a way that does he have other family? Like his father brought it. Does he have other family that can kind of share some of that so it can be spread around but not given away? What is the solution? But you guys do need a creative problem solve.
Yeah, I think coming to some type of solution together. So you're not just like nagging on him or coming down on him, saying like you're coming from a place of love and compassion for obviously, his relationship with his grandmother, but also letting him know that you were like want to like help out. I think because sometimes when you just throw a problem at somebody and you're like, okay, but like you just want to like complain or anything like that, like when you also come with like a solution or like an idea or suggestions, I think that also helps as well because it shows that you're like being thoughtful and you're being considerate as well, not just trying to be like get rid of it. That's not what
you're not
saying.
like fuck your grandma.
So that's what I'm saying. So it could easily be interpreted that way. But if you're offering ideas that like don't include just getting rid of things, then I think that's the best way. But I think it just really needs to be drove home that like this is your space as well, and you've been fine to like hold on to those things for the meantime, but it's time to figure out a solution. It's just time.
Agreed. My jaw basically has biceps at this point because I'm never not clenching and releasing.
I clench like one side more than the other. True, like when my face is oblong.
Oh, you're an offside clencher. Okay, well I'm doing it on both sides, but I have these tiny little baby teeth because I've just shaved them down. If you're part of the 30% of Americans who grind their teeth, then your smile needs protection, and there's no better solution than Remy's custom fit night guard.
Both dentists and teeth grinders recommend Remy because a custom fit night guard is the best way to protect your teeth. And Remy is 80% less than the dentist and way easier.
Here's how it works. Remy will send you an impression kit right to your door with step-by-step instructions on how to get your perfect impression.
Then Remy ships your custom fit night guard made right in good old Las Vegas. And you don't even have to go to Vegas for it. They just make it there. But if you do, after a crazy night of gambling, partying, whatever, pop that night guard in, baby. Start protecting your teeth.
And Remy is so confident you'll get a perfect fit that they offer a 45-night perfect fit guarantee or your money back. And I don't know, it's kind of a lot.
No waiting rooms, no overpriced bills, just a better way to protect your teeth while you sleep. Try Remy risk-free at shopremy.com/disrespectfully. And use code disrespectfully to get up to 50% off your night guard at checkout.
That's 50% off at shopremi.com/disrespectfully with code disrespectfully. Thank you, Remy, for sponsoring this episode. Let's be real, because that's kind of what we do here. Between tariffs, budget cuts, and the price of food, running a business right now is like a lot. But here's a win. Upwork is helping small businesses do more with less.
Upwork is the hiring platform designed for the modern playbook where you can find, hire, and pay expert freelancers who can deliver results from day one. Perfect for businesses on tight budgets, fast timelines, and zero room for error.
Companies at every stage turn to Upwork to get things done and find more flexibility in the way they staff key projects and initiatives by accessing a global marketplace filled with top talent in IT, web dev, AI, design, admin, support, marketing, and more.
Freelancers on Upwork cost way less than hiring full-time or going through a staffing agency. Upwork is convenient, cost-effective, and transparent. No subscriptions, no upfront fees. You only pay when you hire. Posting a job? Free, fast, simple.
Post a job today and hire tomorrow with Upwork. Visit upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, upwork.com. Wow, you've passed your tummy whale over to me. I'm having this whole situation
I'm
over
hungry,
here.
that's why. Okay. Anonymous says, hi, Katie and Dana. Just wanted to say before we get into my WWDD submission that I absolutely love your podcast and wanted to submit this in as I value your advice on the situation. I'm currently on a leave from work after being in an extremely toxic work situation with my boss and team that left me burnt out and my nervous system in fight or flight mode. Making the decision to take the leave was extremely difficult, but I knew I was at the end of my rope and felt like this was the only option as I wasn't eating, sleeping, and become a shell of a person I was before, losing all my confidence. As I'm on leave, I currently still have my job and have the option to go back if I'd like to when my leave is done. I have felt from the beginning that I most likely will not go back as it will be throwing myself back into a toxic environment. Although I do have a fear that if I don't, I may not be able to prove to myself that I can survive hard things in the workplace. I know this is a decision that I need to make on my own, but is it crazy that I'm still considering going back? Would you take this as a sign to leave and move on? I can't help but feel weak despite going through many challenges in my life so far and pushing through. Thank you and love you both. Quick answer. I don't go back to that.
Keep it moving.
You know, what's happening right now is like, it's all very much by the book. It's very much like HR, like everyone's just kind of protecting their ass right now by like giving you your time off, telling you your job is still open because they don't want to get sued and they don't want to have to pay for your like probably unemployment or something. So, but it's not to me, it's not reading as like this is like an extension of like any kind of compassion or trying to right some wrongs or anything like that. So when you go back, it's absolutely still going to be toxic and you shouldn't do that to yourself. Same way, like similar to as a relationship, if it's toxic and not good and it's having a negative impact on so many areas of your life, like you have to do everything you can to leave. And I know it's hard because it's a lot of work to start over, get a new job, and you know, just going back to something that's already there for you seems like an easy answer, but in this case, I really don't think that's the healthiest choice.
Also, I don't know why the universe works the way we do. It does. We'll find out someday, I'm sure, but it's often associated with discomfort when the universe is trying to be loud about a change that needs to happen. So I understand stability. I understand, like Katie said, also job hunting. It is really taxing, but I think that you take this time to push through and find yourself in a much better situation. Go find what makes you happier. Nothing is worth I don't know, we're just fucking capitalist brain rot. Nothing is worth feeling that way, and life is for living, and we have just been brainwashed our whole lives to feel otherwise. So if it's really eating you up like it sounds like it is, do not go back.
Mm-mm.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Hope this helps.
Hope it helps. But take care of yourself during this time.
Yes.
Most importantly.
Anonymous says, hi, Dana and Katie.
Hi.
Hi. Longtime listener and huge fan of you both. Katie, I love your honesty, especially at the end of Vanderpump Rules, and your give no fucks attitude toward those that don't deserve it. Dana, I have found myself relating to you so much while listening to the pod, and I appreciate your honesty and openness. My mom died after an 8-year battle with breast cancer when I was 16, and 20 years later, it still feels like a gut punch. Anywho, looking for some advice on how to tune out the noise. I recently started to make huge life decisions and am struggling with the state of the world, people's opinions, and the negative backlash over people just wanting to be happy and healthy. For context, the two things are my health and my career. First, I started taking a GLP-1 in November, now down almost 60 pounds and almost at my goal and feeling happy about it. I've never been able to lose weight and was always labeled the chubby kid, friend, woman my whole life. But I almost feel guilty because of people's negative perceptions about not losing weight the right way. Ugh, I cannot wait to answer this, even though that has always been a struggle for me. Second, and probably my biggest challenge, I finally got the courage to quit my job. With no prospects to take some time off, maybe move across the country road trip with my kitten. Frasier?
That means
Is there a photo?
Frasier is like it means like princess or something.
Okay, we'll send a photo. I rose very quickly in my career to be the chief financial officer of a decently sized nonprofit by 30 years old. That's fucking incredible. I was always the girl that people had such high expectations from, straight A's, great student, big job, but that has always been hard to live up to for my 36 years. My current job is so toxic that I'm losing the way we are always aligned and we both pick one that is like a similar thing. My current job is so toxic and I'm losing myself. My boss being a narcissistic prick is making it even worse. But shouldn't I be grateful to have such an excellent career, especially in the world where so many are struggling? I've always been the successful friend, daughter, cousin, so who am I without that? So my real question, how do you block out the noise when you know what you're doing is good for you, but might not be what the world sees as good? What if it's not just the outsiders, but also those closest to you that are not being supportive? How do you tune out the constant noise of the world telling you you're fucking up and how to make the right choices for yourself? You're both strong women who have taken leaps of faith. So if you could send some of that energy over to me, I would really appreciate it. Thank you for listening and any feedback. Sorry, this is so long. P.S. I've started using silly goose behavior in daily conversations and it's become my favorite phrase. Thanks for introducing me to that one. First of all, congratulations on so many positive changes you're making in your life and goals. I am sick to death of people talking about GLP-1s. They are life-changing medications in terms of the way that we talk about it. When we talk about like celebs who lie about it, that's one thing. But people who have struggled with this issue and it's changing their lives and making people healthy, there's so many benefits.
It is. I mean, I started taking one in January, and as somebody whose body's constantly always worked against itself and in so many aspects, it's honestly so incredible to see just like how you actually can regulate things in your body. So your body does start working for it. I was, like insulin resistant and near pre-diabetic. So like, fuck off what anyone says. I know there's a lot of people that like, that are feel shameful about it, but I think we need to like remove the stigma and just normalize it.
Well, and also I feel like some of that's from jealousy of people who are acting that way. So
I think so too.
Whatever, losers. Also, I just recognize myself and you in terms of the career situation that you're talking about, because it seems like there's always been a lot of pressure on you. And so you've used your career as a measurement for how you feel about yourself in life. And I used to choose really challenging jobs that had high pay, but it was really taxing on me because I was like, I got off on it. I was like, okay, I'm doing well in life because I have this big job. In the end, it didn't really fucking matter for me. And I think that a lot of those jobs, it is toxic. And I'm not saying leave that job. This is your overarching question is about the noise. But I just want to say there are other careers out there that could probably be more fulfilling for you that are less toxic. And you aren't just your job. So I want to point that out. And you've obviously been really successful in your life, which is incredible. In terms of blocking out the noise, I think that sometimes that's a challenge I even face. And it's, sometimes when we're giving advice to people, we're always becoming, we're always changing, we're always working to be the people we want to be. So I think that someone once said an analogy that it's like when you have thoughts that are happening, especially if it's outside noise, but then you internalize it, picture them as like little monkeys in your brain. And there's just little monkeys and you're like, oh, there's a little monkey, and shoo it away, because other people's voices can end up being loud and it can end up being grating. But you have to know at the end of the day, you have one life to live. It's yours. You live with your decisions. No one else has to. So it's sometimes hard to close that off. But at the end of the day, do what is best for you.
Yeah, I think it's natural for us to want like reassurance or validation that we're like what we're doing is okay, that people are proud of us, that people like look up to the things we're doing, that people are impressed. That I think is natural, but I think we have to like we cannot live by those guidelines of like needing that kind of approval in life because yes, like you said, it is your life, and you know I think I get the sense that you're trying to move into like a softer era in your life, which I think is fantastic because we're moving, just making things easier on yourself, like you know getting on a GLP-1. Great. Love it. It's working for you. You know, just try to like tune out the like the noise, the trash, the stuff that does not add anything to your life. It doesn't bring you inspiration, income, or orgasm. Don't need it. Mm-mm. That's what I live my life by. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think you're doing great. I think it's just sort of like altering your mindset a little bit and leaning into it.
Also, I know this is corny and it's going to sound Pinteresty, but I always loved this quote. The lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinion of a lamb.
Boom.
So, you know, unless you're like really respect, it's, I don't know, usually when people are criticizing you, it's not someone you trade places with. So keep that in mind.
I've never ever wanted to trade places with anyone that's criticized me.
Because they're tacky and I hate them. Okay, next one.
Because you're a tacky bitch. Just kidding. Because you're tacky and I hate you. Where's that from?
School of Rock. I say that all the time, and so people so seldom get the reference. I'm like, it's so effective.
I love that, you know, but you know, sometimes you just can't place. Anyways. Lexi says, am I the asshole? Hi, girly pops. Love you both, the pod and the Coven so much and consider you all fam.
The feeling's mutual, babe.
Yes. Any hoodly who. I love when people write like
I do too.
Any hoodly who. You asked for Am I the Asshole stories on a recent episode, so I'm ready to get your opinions on one of the most messed up things I've done for revenge. Okay. Here goes. In freshman year of college, I was roomed with the most annoying, self-centered girl who was very disrespectful of our shared space. The room was an open concept, so there was little to no privacy. She insisted on talking to her boyfriend loudly on the phone until late night, among many other annoying habits. I, the type of person who needs 8+ hours of sleep a night, did not appreciate this and mentioned it to her many times without any changes to her behavior. One day, while she was having another loud conversation with a boyfriend, I overheard her saying that she had marijuana in the room, including where it was located. Having had enough, I went to the campus police and told them that she had drugs and might be looking to sell them.
Not another Office reference, but when Michael tries to frame Toby for drugs and it's like basil salad.
Yeah.
Like that's what this is giving.
That is. That resulted in a sting operation where they came to our room early in the morning and raided her stuff, finding the small amount of weed. I did a really good job playing off that I had no idea what was happening, and she ended up being reprimanded and transferred to another dorm. Victory. For the rest of the semester, I had the room to myself. I ended up leaving school a couple months later, and 10+ years later, I am a huge stoner, which makes me feel a little guilty, but in the end, I think she deserved it. Am I an asshole? Lexi. P.S. Would love to see you ladies have a sex therapist or beauty expert on the pod. We'll think about that.
We'll take that in consideration.
Yeah.
Is she the asshole?
Yes and no.
We love you, but I think I agree already.
Yes and no. Listen, I know that's real. Like it can be drive you absolutely insane to live with somebody who's disrespectful, constantly just like thinks the world revolves around them, is unwilling to change. Like I get that. So like you were probably like at your wit's end, but like that was a bit extreme. Like she could have gotten in a lot more trouble, and who knows? Like she could have got expelled. Like I don't know. Like you don't want to fuck with people's lives and like future like that, especially when it doesn't, the punishment don't fit the crime.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, I'm wondering if there were other, like, could you have run up the flagpole to an RA or, you know, so, and just see if you could be moved if you couldn't. I don't know. If she had been expelled, I would say you were the asshole because
when she was having particular conversations, if you could do something to annoy her during those, listen, there's ways.
Yeah, I think there were smaller petty things you could do to maybe get back or get your point across. Again, it seems like all's well that ends well. She transferred dorms and whatever. But I had the most horrendous roommate my freshman year, and it was so awful. So I get and she ended up leaving school on her own accord, which I was fucking thrilled about. But yes and no. But we still love you though, and we're here.
I know.
Here.
Listen, respect.
Keep listening to the show, please. Love you. Okay. Rachel says, "Hey, Katie and Dana, longtime listener to the pod and watcher of Vanderpump Rules. I've been Team Katie since day one and a Dana stan ever since you joined season 8. Vanderpump Rules will always be one of my comfort shows, along with The Office. Now into my dilemma. One of my best friends since high school has had the worst luck when it comes to men. Every time she thinks she might have found her person, they end up doing something to prove her wrong. Some examples are poor communication, gaslighting, even some emotional abuse. We're 29 years old and she's really struggling now that many of her friends and family are in long-term relationships, engaged or married. She's also struggling with her mental health, but is currently in therapy, which we love. My question is, how can I best support her while she navigates this stage of her life? I am married, but we always joke that my husband is the third wheel whenever the three of us hang out, so I never feel like she has any sort of resentment towards me about being in a different phase of life than her. She's gorgeous, kind-hearted, loyal, and has an awesome job as an attorney. I just want her to see how amazing she is and not feel like she's failing because she hasn't found the one for her. Thank you for any advice you have. Disrespectfully, Rachel. I obviously picked this because I can relate to it. First of all, this isn't the thing that you need to say to her, but 29 is so young. And it's funny because at 28 and 29, I hit this exact thing where I was starting to feel left out and so sad. And I've always been able to be happy for people who have the things I want and not be bitter. But of course, it's hard when you just see everyone around you. And here's the thing. Every single woman I know, I cannot say the same thing about men, that is in my life is smart, beautiful, cool, has a lot to give, has a cool job. Like, I don't know a single bum. And so I think that it's hard to convey this because you don't want to make her feel, you don't want to minimize things. But I just want to say, I already know she's not the problem. Now, as for how you should handle this, nothing is worse than when someone says to you, you'll find it when you're least looking for
find
it.
Your person.
You need to lower your standards. There's so many, the way that people talk to single people sometimes is so shocking to me that if we talk to the same people about their marriages or their babies or whatever, it's just, there's so much judgment and bullshit. Now, as someone who is on the other side of this and is so fucking happy, I'm telling you, she's going to get in her 30s and her life's going to improve whether she finds someone or not. But I will say, I think the best thing you can do is tell her that she's seen on all the things you love about her and say, how can I be best supportive to you? Ask that. Say, I don't want to shove advice down your throat that doesn't land or say something insensitive. What I do want to do is be here for you and hold space for the fact that it is a bummer and nothing replaces romantic love and it can be hard. And I understand what you're going through. Although I'm married, I understand just as a whole, like I can have empathy and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I best be here for you when you're feeling low about this? Long answer, but that's how I feel about it.
I think that's I agree with that completely. I think every single person has heard all those canned fucking responses.
Ugh.
And it's exhausting. But yeah, asking how you can support her, but also like just gas her up.
Gas her the fuck up because she deserves it. Also, if she hasn't read the book Attached, I'm going to need you to tell her about it. Changed my life.
Your favorite book.
My favorite book.
Next to Matthew Perry.
But also I can tell that you're a great friend and that this is coming for a place of love. And I wish more people who were in long-term partnerships or marriages would think of their single friends in this way. It's very considerate the way that you're talking and think about it.
I love that you like wrote in specifically to ask us about this. I think that is like really already such like a warm, thoughtful gesture.
Yeah.
That I think not a lot of people would do, because I think some people are just going to be like, want to sit and like pity their friends or maybe have some kind of jealousy too. Because I mean, as much as like you can feel like alone, there's so many people that are alone in terrible marriages.
100. Do you know how many marriages I scoff at when I'm like, those people are judging me? I think it's projection. I think single people experience that. But anyway, we love you. You're the best. Tell her we love her.
Yes. Katie says, hi, Katie and Dana, spelled D-A-N-A.
I'm gutted. That's Dana. Everyone, my name is spelled D-A-Y-N-A, but love you, Katie.
Like Day-na. I love y'all on the pod, and 2 episodes a week really help me stay entertained. I'll get right into it. I'm 21 years old and have been with my boyfriend for 2 years. We live together, work together, and have 2 dogs together. This is my first relationship, and a struggle of ours has been my lack of vulnerability and emotional intimacy. And I know this is a huge problem, and I've been trying to be better. I've been going through my boyfriend's phone off and on for 6 months, Katie. And I found him texting girls from Tinder multiple times. His dad has recently been diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. His mom is getting laid off and is also struggling with medical issues. And his sister's not mentally well. My boyfriend has struggled with severe depression almost his entire life. When I confront him about the cheating, he said he seeks comfort and validation in other women as he's not getting it from me. We will end these conversations with us saying we will both be better. However, he has cheated too many times and I think we need to break up. I'm struggling to break his heart when he's at his lowest, as I've mentioned splitting up, and he goes on about how much he wants to be with me. I'm his other half, his best friend, etc. I don't think I can do this anymore, as this is just scraping the surface of our issues. How do I stand my ground and get out of this when our lives are so intertwined? He wants the dogs, so do I, and I don't want to do joint custody. Any tips on what I can do about that to keep the dogs and how to break up with him when he is so low mentally and physically? I hope I did a good job of explaining this mess. Thank you so much for allowing me to share, and I look forward to hearing your input. I am so lost. Well, first of all, Katie, I'm really sorry.
Sweet angel baby.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wish I could just come rescue from you from that situation because it's terrible. The thing is, there's always going to be something. There's never going to be a good time to break up with anyone, period. So like everything that's going on with his family, it affects him because he cares about them, but it's such external things to what the issues are with you guys that you need to separate the two and kind of like selfishly not give a fuck because you're going to put yourself first in this. And again, like if the cheating and you're saying there's other issues happening, I just think you just have to make it really quick and really to the point. The dog stuff, that's a little tougher. I think, you can go to court for that, but that's expensive. So I don't know. I think I hate the idea of having to split up dogs because I know what that's like when they're brothers or sisters or siblings. Imagining that, but I don't know. I would weigh your options before just so that, again, the whole thing can be very swift.
I think with the dog thing specifically, if he won't split them up, you might have to let them go in terms of, I think sometimes when someone is not ready to let go of a relationship, that's something he can leverage to like try and keep you in his life. And it sounds like
he does manipulate when he's been talking about like how much he wants to be with you and he's your other half and the constant empty promises they make. Like it's never going to get better. It never does get better.
I obviously have compassion for him, what he's going through, but it's not a get out of jail free card to treat people like shit. And if he is point blank telling you, I use it for validation I'm not getting from you. When he's like, I would do anything to be with you. You're my other half. I just don't go on Tinder. So it's like it's just, this is not a good situation. I would say same thing. Be straightforward. Do what you can. Rip the Band-Aid. It's not going to help him to drag it out. I'm guessing he's going to try and say, let's stay friends for a while, but you probably do need to take some space to let that disconnect happen in your brain to switch off the emotional relationship part of it. But yeah, you do not have to go down with this ship. No. And you shouldn't. And you're 21, babe. You're so young.
Being ultra serious about it too, because it seems like I'm not saying you've threatened it, but you brought this up and then, he's learned that he can quickly just win you back by saying a bunch of bullshit, just paying lip service. So I think you just need to be firm because with these types of guys, they just never think you're actually going to leave. Yeah. So you got to call their bluff. Anyway.
Oh, so sorry you're in that situation. That's really tough. Well, good thing we ended on an uplifting moment.
Totally.
But we hope you have a great weekend.
Have a wonderful weekend,
everybody.
And send in your questions and your stories to disrespectfullypod@gmail.com.
And, tell your friends to listen and we love you and shit.
Yep. Kayla, we love you and shit, Kayla.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like, disrespectfully.